नहमदुहु व नुसल्ली व नुसल्लिमु अला सय्यिदिना व मौलाना मुहम्मदिन रसूलिहिन नबिय्यिल अमीनिल मकीनिल हनीनिल करीमिल रऊफिर रहीम। अम्मा बाद, बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम। Honorable audience and dear students, Alhamdulillah Ta'ala, from today, this lecture, we are starting the subject of concept of prophet, the status of prophethood, the significance of prophethood in Islam. And particularly in connection of Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. What is the real relevance, significance and importance of Holy Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in Islam, in teachings of Islam? And what is the real esteemed and significant exalted status and position of Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Islamic teachings? So this is the next step to that question. And then we will come to the subject of the esteem and honor and exaltation of Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam after discussing this concept. So here, through this discussion, you will become aware of the real concept of prophethood and prophet, and messengership and holy messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and its actual position, its pivotal position in Islam, its actual relevance, its real significance, its indispensable position, its authoritative station. After being clear on this subject and after truly understanding this concept, only then we would be in a position to go forward and to understand why this kind of respect, regard, honor and esteem has been granted to Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or why we are supposed to pay our obedience, submission or respect and honor and esteem up to that extent, which we are going to discuss afterwards. These lectures, there will be a number of lectures on this subject, the concept of prophet, the real status of prophet. So after understanding this concept, then this will provide us the real base of the future understandings. The position of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Islam is that Prophet's life, we will discuss it in various aspects. The first one, the Prophet's personality and Prophet's life is the sole and ultimate evidence for the truth of Islam. This is the Prophet's personality only and Prophet's life and seerah only, which is known to be the real sole evidence on truthfulness of Islam, even up to the extent of the claim of Tawheed, invitation of Tawheed, the basic evidence which becomes the conclusive argument of Aqidah of Tawheed to be accepted is the Prophet's person and Prophet's life. So this is the position where whole teachings of Islam and truthfulness of the religion of Islam relies and depends upon. Number two, the Prophet person and Prophet's life is the sole practical standard and the sole practical model and practical standard for Allah's love, Allah's obedience and Allah's submission. Submission to Almighty Allah, obedience to Almighty Allah. For following the commandments of Almighty Allah, the sole practical standard for all these things is just the person and life and conduct of the Prophet. Number three, the Prophet is the one of the fundamental source of Sharia, one of the fundamental source of Islamic guidance, one of the fundamental source of Islamic law, Islamic constitution, Islamic morality. Every branch of knowledge in Islam, and particularly the whole sum of Sharia, the Prophet's life and Prophet's personality is one of the two, just one of the two fundamental sources of Islam. The first is Quran, that is the speech of Almighty Allah, and the second is Sunnah, that is the speech or act or approval of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Fourth is that the Prophet's person and Prophet's life is the indispensable means of acquisition of divine guidance. Rather, I would say that Prophet's person and Prophet's life is the sole source of guidance too. You cannot acquire and you cannot receive the divine guidance of Almighty Allah without the means of Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Fifth position is that the Prophet's life is the eternal standard of human excellence and perfection. His personality, his life, and standards fixed by him, the standard, the moral standards, the human standards, the practical standards, fixed by his life and fixed by his teachings. These are in fact the eternal standards of human excellence and human perfection. So he is the sole model of human perfection in this world. So the sixth point to be understood in connection of the Prophet's status and significance is that Prophet life and Prophet's personality is the sole device and the sole means for acquiring the knowledge and awareness in Islam. The sole means of acquisition of knowledge. This is the definite knowledge, means definite knowledge that ultimately leads to the guidance. And moreover, the seventh point is that Prophet's life is actually the real center and pivot of Islamic faith in all teachings of Islam. This is the central, this is the pivotal point. And all articles of faith and all basic teachings of Islam revolves around this center. And this center of Islamic faith, center of Iman, center of Islam, center of Ihsan, center of Hidayah, center of Quranic understanding, center of recognizing the Qibla, center of understanding the halal and haram, center of getting the Sharia. So this is a conclusive thing, that the center of all Islamic teachings and center of Iman and faith is in fact the Prophet. Anything you get or anything you are supposed to accept or supposed to believe in Islam, that is through the Prophet. So this is the sole and indispensable means of his, this is the central position of in Islam.